October 19th, 2021, I, Lisa, decided to rent out my house to a close friend, Anna, in the suburban area of Houston. We had known each other for years, and I thought there was no need for a formal lease between friends. But things didn't go as I expected. After moving in, Anna allowed her ex-boyfriend to move in with her without asking for my permission. When they broke up, she faced financial difficulties and couldn't pay rent in full. This led me to make some tough decisions, and that's when the conflict started. In this video, I'm going to share the dramatic story of the disagreements between me and my tenant, the difficult choices I had to make, and the police intervention when things got too tense. Stay tuned to find out how it all unfolded.
Just didn't have her sign it because I was like, she's my friend, yeah.
Right.
So her and her boyfriend were living here, which I never agreed to him moving in, but I just let it slide, whatever. So they had broke up last week. She came up to me and said, I can't.
Renting to a friend sounded like a great idea until it became a nightmare. No lease, just trust. But then, she let her boyfriend move in without asking me. After they broke up, she couldn't afford rent. I felt bad and lowered it by $400. Then, out of nowhere, she told me she'd be leaving before November, giving me only 2 weeks to find a new tenant.
Absolutely, right.
So I was away this weekend, and I was like, hey, any updates, whatever? She's like, oh yeah, I'm actually going to leave before November. So I'm like, okay, that's 2 weeks for me to find someone. Like, shit, I gotta find someone.
Right.
So luckily I found someone. They said they move in for the full rent on November 1st. And then I had told her that. I was like, I was like, listen, I will let you stay, but I need the full rent because I already have someone else who's going to do it. So she lost her mind on me. I tried to have a conversation with her multiple times. I got home at 5 a.m. Her boyfriend's now here. So this morning I asked him to leave. They haven't left since 9 a.m. I've been here. Obviously, they are both my friends. I don't obviously did not let
Yeah, absolutely. You're not trying to let it get too personal.
How long have you been here?
Since April. And that's fine. I mean, I tried to have a conversation, she just screamed in my face, so, and her dad just called me, and I was like,
talk to her for a minute? Oh, we will, and then we'll come back to you. Hold on. How y'all doing? So what's the issue?
I called I think it was like not even 10 minutes ago. She was supposed to call him, I think around like 10:30. I was still sleeping. I had blocked her and everything because this happened 2 days ago where she just let up on a trip to the mountains. I think it was for 4 or 6 days. And right before she left, I was talking with her in the room and I was like, hey.
I quickly found a new tenant ready to move in on November 1st. Problem solved, right? Nope. My current tenant was furious. She ignored me, and to make things worse, her ex-boyfriend showed up and wouldn't leave. I was frustrated, but legally, I couldn't just kick them out.
Before, I don't know if it was like right before or when I was my first week here, she was like, hey, we should sign this and stuff. The rent's going to be $10,000 or whatever. And then,
How much?
or $1,000.
Oh,
sorry.
God, I was like, whoa, what?
Sorry, $1,000. And then he actually, that same week, I was like, you know what, I basically stay with he sleeps with me every single day, so I would think it's more fair if, like, it's fully, like, we're splitting the rent, me and him, in the room, and she was okay with that because we're all friends with her.
Right.
Did she live here too, or just y'all?
Yeah, no, this is her house.
Okay.
This is her house. She actually is a realtor, so she bought this house to live in with her ex, and that they were supposed to split the mortgage, but then they ended up having, like, a breakup, so she was like, hey, I'm renting out the other room. Sure. It was supposed to be me and another girl, but you see the other room that's next to it's really tiny. It's kind of just like a closet.
Sure.
Okay, so 6 days ago I sat her down and I was like, hey friend, like I'm just letting you know, like that other room that was supposed to be mine for my clothes, like all your stuff is in the closet, and it's her desk there. It's her office room now, which is fine. Her dad came down and she was like, do you mind if I put the desk? And me trying to be a friend, I'm like, yeah, of course. If you can, she's a realtor, so I'm like, if you need time to make calls and you want me, like that's not a problem at all. Like it's not like I use the room to live there. I just put my stuff there. So she said okay. She put the desk here, and when we were talking, when I brought that up, I was like, it's basically your room. So if you feel more comfortable with me paying less than $1,100 for that room that basically you're using, I'll get all my little stuff out there that most of it is yours, and I'll put it in my room. And she was like, no, you don't have to do that. By the time this time we're still like best friends. And she's like, no, we don't. You don't have to do that.
Y'all say friends. How long have you been friends?
we've been
I originally bought this house to live in with my ex, but after we split, I decided to rent it out. The original deal was $1,100 for a private room and bathroom, but I lowered it to $800. The real issue wasn't just money. It was how they used the shared spaces like they owned the place.
Interesting. So that talk, I was like, hey, like I just don't think it's enough. And she was like, I completely get that or whatever. She was like, you can pay. I asked for $750. She said, is it okay $800? And we agreed. And we obviously have the messages, the whole thing.
Right.
And she was like, all right, you can pay $800. While she was there, she called me and she was like, hey, when do you think you'll be out? And I said, I'm going to try to have a place by November. Like, you know, me thinking that, you know, obviously this is my best friend, so me thinking that I can maybe be out by November 15th. Like, she's a realtor too, so she knows that also.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
She's a realtor, so what I'm saying is that she knows that it takes more than 10 days to find an apartment, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's why when it was me being like, I'll move out by November, I've never, and we can go through the messages, it was never me saying I will be out by November 1st. Sure. Before this, I was living with my parents. Mm-hmm. You know, this is my like first time moving out by myself, having things like I've never.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, and then it was this situation, and you know, it was me trying to be a grown up and move out, but it was always her house. She could tell you that I always respected this was her house. Anybody that came in here, I said, this is Quinn's house, and I'm renting out that room. Because it is. I'm 23 years old. Exactly. Yes, there was a contract made, but it did not get signed because the new rule that he was staying here.
There's no sign.
No, and she also raised another $100.
How long you been here? How long you been here?
4 or 5 months.
How long you been here?
5 months. So we moved
He's
in together.
the same time, yeah. Just the first week is when that happened. That's why that contract didn't get signed.
So, what's gonna make you happy in this situation?
So the thing is, we're trying to leave. We're trying to get out of here by the 1st. So she's telling us that we need to get all of our stuff out and go. She's changing the locks right. Yeah, right now. Yeah. She's telling us
My tenant claimed I was kicking her out unfairly, even though she'd already paid for November. I wanted to change the locks, but she panicked about her stuff. The police got involved to mediate, but it was clear she had no plans to leave immediately.
Like, can I please stay here and live in this awkward ass place? Like, you know, like, just imagine you having a best friend in this house.
November 1st, because you know, we paid the rent. I got the receipt. Me sending her the cash.
Go back inside and stay in your place, and I'll tell her what the laws are.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just.
That's what. This is all we needed. Because we didn't want. She was saying that she's gonna call people and
that's the other thing we weren't talking about it because
you guys are trying to go out peacefully and find it, and I get that. We'll explain to her. Look, if by the 1st, if she's cool with that, y'all ride it out, do your thing, just do your best as soon as possible.
That's what it is. We're trying to stay in your room, but then also I didn't know how to go about it because she was like, since you don't have a conversation, the locksmith is right now, and I'm like, I need, I just need to get my stuff out. It's 10 days. You know, I will be out by the 1st, so I'll bring stuff up, but that is what, you know, before me and her fighting, I just was like, let me just talk up so she knows
keep it peaceful so that way no animosity happens here and it becomes, you know, a hostile environment. And that's the last thing you want. I can see that from you guys. So,
100%.
So hopefully with him explaining that to her, you guys can do your thing, alright? I would just, like I said, recommend expediting it as soon as possible. I know it's a pain to find an apartment, but
100%.
No matter what, like, I'd rather ask for help than be here any longer than this person. Like, I know that's not an option, and we're both very aware of that. Yeah. We just want to make sure that we're not like, hey, are you here? Like, that she works 9 to 5, she's always working, so I can't depend on her time to move out in 10 days just because it's such
especially with the locks changing.
Yeah, it's my first time moving out, and I really just don't know what to
she
do.
can't do that, though, so.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Y'all have a blessed day.
When is rent due?
I asked the cops about eviction, and they told me to start the process right away, but it's expensive and could take weeks. Now I'm stuck wondering, will I get my house back on time, or is this just the beginning of a legal nightmare?
Okay, he has been to jail. He's not going to get a thing. She doesn't have a job. She's not going to get an apartment, so that's my problem.
So the next time you rent, after this is over,
I didn't know.
do a background test.
No, I'm living alone forever.
Good for you.
After that, but
lesson learned.
no, it's just obviously I just know they're not going to get an apartment, so I'm like they're going to stay here.
Go and start the eviction process.
Yeah, I would start that immediately, just in case. It seems like they're trying to do it, but
you never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes rent here is way more expensive than you think, and they might not be able to get out. I don't know what they do for a living, but rent's expensive, so they ain't gonna get out at all.
No, that's what I'm saying, and I gave them a big deal.
But just
try to stay apart in the house. Obviously, we don't want kind of disturbance to happen.
Yeah. So that way we don't have to keep getting called out here.
She might get out. I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, you might be out. I don't know. Just try your best to get along until the process is over.
Okay, so do I just go to the police station to do that?
Courthouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go and just say, ask them to file eviction. That's normally all that's through the sheriff's office. They'll come out here and serve them and all that. But there's a process you got to go by. It's much rigmarole, and I think it costs you a fee as well.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Take
Sorry.
care. Sorry.
No problem. Under contact, video being terminated.
So, the situation with my tenant has been resolved. But as you can see, things aren't always as simple as we think. The lesson here is, when renting to a friend, no matter how much you trust them, always have a clear contract in place to avoid unnecessary complications. Only with clear agreements can both sides protect their rights. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss future videos. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback and suggestions.
Maria?
They probably called you, I'm guessing. Sorry, I'm just upset because I'm frustrated. So I own this house. I rented it out to one of my friends. She never signed the lease, so I was like, whatever. I'm a realtor, so I know how it works. And I